Do you have no sense of shame at all? Just what do you think you're doing here, Tony?
Huh? What's going on, Valerie? I have no idea why you'd suddenly send me such an aggressive text like that. It's my dad's visitation, right? And the funeral is tomorrow, so I'm not sure what exactly you think is shameless about a son going to his own father's visitation.
Oh, sure. Now you're the loyal and devoted son, are you? Maybe you should have shown your father a little more respect when he was alive. You never came around to visit him, so what makes you think you have any right to pretend like you care about him now?
Never is a bit strong, though I will admit that I haven't been able to get back home as much as I'd like. I presume you're also aware that I didn't have the best of relationships with my father.
Oh yeah, I've heard all about the two of you.
I thought so. My relatives were also well aware of the circumstance surrounding my relationship with my father, and for the record, I've met with my father plenty of times over the years. It just so happened that I mostly saw him at the homes of our relatives who live nearby. Despite the difficulties between us, it's not as if we had cut each other out of our respective lives. And since the visitation and the funeral are, in some sense, a sort of family reunion, I'd say there's no problem at all with me coming here today.
Ugh, you're unbelievable. Like seriously, this is super gross. What are you doing?
I'm sorry, Valerie, but you're going to have to be a bit more specific. What exactly am I doing that's so gross?
Don't think I don't know. It's clear to everyone around you exactly why you're here right now.
And that would be?
Let me put this in the most delicate way I can. A broke high school dropout like you has no right to come to your father's funeral. Do I make myself clear?
Actually, no. I don't really see why being broke or a high school dropout would preclude me from coming to my father's funeral. Care to elaborate?
Do I have to spell it out for you? You're broke. You're a high school dropout. You're just here for money.
Money?
Yes, that's the only reason you bothered to come to the funeral.
You're still not making any sense.
I know that you're desperate to get your share of your dad's inheritance, but guess what? You're not getting any. So get out. There's nothing for you here.
Inheritance? Did you by any chance find my dad's will?
What will?
Yeah, my point exactly. My brother and family told me that my dad passed away quite suddenly and hadn't had the opportunity to put together a will. As such, his inheritance will be split up according to the laws of our state. In other words, how my dad's estate is divided up between his heirs isn't something that I have any power at all to affect. It'll all be carried out automatically by the city government.
If you're trying to confuse me with all that legal jargon, it's not going to work.
All of that was layman's terms. I'm not sure which part you think was jargon.
That's so like a high school dropout. They always use big words they don't understand to sound smarter than they are.
Anyway, I'm planning to be in town until my dad's funeral is over.
Oh yeah? I might just have to have a little chat with your brother about this then.
By all means, go ahead. I've already talked to him and he said I was welcome to come. Conversely, if I were to be absent from the funeral after coming to the visitation tonight, I think that might disturb several of my relatives who are expecting me to come.
Whatever. Fine, but you need to get out of town immediately, after the funeral is over tomorrow, got it? That's what you get?
Valerie, would you mind explaining why you just dumped a bucket of water all over me?
I may have let you come to the funeral, but a high school dropout has no right to sit in front with the family. You can sit in the back.
You seem like you wouldn't be happy no matter where I sat.
Well, duh. Besides, the visitation is over, and now the funeral is over, so you've got no more reason to stick around. Hurry up and get out of town like I told you to.
As you wish. You can take care of things from here.
And don't you ever show your face around here again.
Tony, I'm so sorry. Hey, Ellen. Thanks for taking care of the funeral today. It was lovely. Where are you right now? In a hotel across the street from the airport. I was planning to stay the night here, so I already had a reservation. My flight isn't until the morning, so I'm just kind of killing time until then. But what's up? Why are you apologising to me all of a sudden? When I heard what happened, I had to apologise. During the funeral service, I looked around and noticed you weren't in your seat anymore. My wife told me that you'd gotten sick and went to the emergency room, and I completely believed her at first. And then at lunch, I was talking to some of our family about you, and they said that Valerie had dumped a bucket of water on you and kicked you out of the church. I'm so sorry it took you so long to realise what had happened. Nah, don't worry about it, Alan. You've got nothing to apologise for. You had more than enough on your plate already with handling all the funeral arrangements. Be that as it may, I still need to take responsibility for what my wife did to you. Again, Tony, I'm so sorry for what happened. Well, thanks for that, Helen. Like I said, I don't hold you responsible at all, but it's big of you to come and apologise to me like this. Although I have to say, there's something Valerie said that has me concerned. What did she say? She told me she thought the only reason I came to the funeral was to get my hands on Dad's inheritance. What? I bet that's a big part of the reason why she dumped water on me and kicked me out of the church. What the? How did she get that idea in her head? You're not even Dad's legal heir. Yeah, I was just as confused as you are. I don't know. I guess it would make sense that she didn't know all the details since she only married into the family. But no matter what I said, she refused to listen. She was so upset and excited about the whole thing that I was never able to give her a proper explanation. I'll see. But in any case, as long as Valerie is angry at me, it seems like my presence there would only cause more trouble than I've already caused. I know it's only been a short time since Dad died, and I hate to force this on you in such a difficult time, but is it alright if I leave everything from here on out to you? Yes, no trouble at all. Leave everything to me. I'm sorry about everything that happened, really, I am. I'll contact you again once things settle down over here. Gotcha. Thanks again, Alan. Talk to you later.
I don't believe you, Tony. What are you doing back in town? I told you to stay away.
Not that it's any of your concern, but I was visiting some old friends of mine.
Liar! You're still after your dad's inheritance, aren't you?
I suppose this has something to do with the fact that there's a meeting with the city about Dad's inheritance today.
Obviously.
Well, I know you have all sorts of things you'd like to say to me right now, but let me save both of us a lot of time. I'm meeting with my friends, and then immediately heading back home.
What?
Valerie, I was trying to tell you back at my dad's funeral, but you're under a huge misunderstanding. Regardless of what you may think, I'm not actually one of my dad's legal heirs.
Wait, you're not?
I think you're aware that while I call Alan my brother, we're technically just stepbrothers, right?
Yeah, I knew that.
Right. So Alan is our dad's son, and I'm our mum's son. So when our parents married, both of us were already adults and had our own established lives. So since there's no need for financial support, I was never legally adopted by my dad. What this means legally, in the same way my brother wasn't entitled to any of my mum's estate when she passed away a few years ago, I'm not entitled to any of my father's estate right now. We were both fully aware of that from the very beginning. And since I have no rights to receive any of my dad's estate, there's no point in me attending the meeting with the city today.
You're not fooling me. You're probably gonna camp out in front of City Hall to beg for money from your brother once the meeting is over.
Why would I do a thing like that? I'm not really hurting financially or anything.
Liar!
I started up a company with a friend of mine 3 years ago. I'm currently serving as vice president of that company.
Vice president?
Not one to toot my own horn, but our company's doing pretty well. I think it's fair to say that I'm in a pretty high income bracket for people my age.
Whoa! That's... really? But how? You dropped out of high school. The only reason you would do that is if you were super dumb. How did someone like you become the vice president of a successful company?
I'd say that's a pretty ignorant view of high school dropouts.
Excuse me?
Sorry, I just got to my friend's house, so I'll be taking my leave here if you don't mind.
Tony, this is your doing, isn't it?
What's the matter, Valerie?
Where are you right now?
In the airport, about to board my plane. Why?
Get back here right now.
Hate to disappoint you, but I'm afraid I can't do that. I've got work tomorrow morning. If I miss this flight, I won't be able to get to the office on time.
Your job isn't what's important right now. My future is what's important. At this rate, I'm gonna be divorced before I get my share of your dad's estate.
Ah, I see.
Is that all you have to say?
If I'm not mistaken, my brother told you he's going to divorce you right before the meeting with the city started, right?
Yes. Now that you know what's going on, hurry up and get your butt over to City Hall right now and fix what you did.
Fix what exactly?
Stop playing innocent. You high school dropouts are all the same. You always use dirty tactics to get what you want. What did you say to my husband? Whatever you said, it got my husband to divorce me. I'm gonna lose my share of his inheritance.
Oh. Well, Valerie, I'm afraid to say that you're once again drastically misunderstanding the situation.
How?
Ordinarily, this is a conversation that would be best to have in person, but in your case, I think writing it all out via text will help you understand.
Just spit it out already. What did you do?
I'll explain it step by step, so make sure you read each message thoroughly before moving on to the next one. First of all, about the inheritance. As I mentioned before, my deceased father's only legal heir is my brother, Alan. If my mother was still alive, then she would also be a legal heir as his wife, but she passed away a few years ago. So again, the only legal heir is my brother, Alan.
Aren't you forgetting someone? What about me?
No, I wasn't forgetting anyone. My brother is the only legal heir.
What?
Let me explain this in the absolute simplest possible terms. According to local, state, and federal law, daughters and sons-in-law are not considered to be legal heirs with inheritance rights.
Wait, really?
In the event you're adopted as their legal child or written into their will as an heir, then yeah, you would be a legal heir with inheritance rights. As far as I'm aware, that didn't happen in your case. So once again, the only legal heir is my brother.
Then why did he divorce me? If I was never gonna get any of the money, then what's the point in divorcing me?
I believe that my brother's divorcing you for reasons that have nothing to do with the inheritance.
Then why?
Ah, speak of the devil. Looks like Alan is trying to call me right now.
Alan? Really?
I'm sorry, but if you'll excuse me, I'm going to take this call. I'll message you when I'm finished. Sorry to keep you waiting, Val. According to my brother, as soon as he told you he was divorcing her, you ran away and locked yourself in your room before he had a chance to give you an explanation as to why. I suppose the reason you text me right now is most likely because you're convinced, for whatever reason, that I'm the one responsible. Correct?
You are responsible. I know it was you. You're just mad at me because you found out you wouldn't get any of your dad's inheritance.
Valerie, please. I wish you'd stop making such brash allegations against me. I already received my mother's inheritance several years ago when she passed away. And my brother is the only person with inheritance rights to our father's estate. Both of us have been well aware of this for quite some time now.
What inheritance? Your mother was so poor you had to drop out of high school to get a job and support her. What inheritance could she have possibly left you?
Well, you're correct about one thing. We definitely had financial difficulties in my childhood years.
I knew it.
However, it was only for my childhood years. After I graduated high school, my mother took an enormous risk and opened her own interior decoration store.
Really?
It's quite successful, and she left me a sizable inheritance when she passed. Actually, that store's now being run by my wife. My mother had been training her up in preparation to take over when she retired.
Oh.
So, as you should now be able to tell, I'm not quite in as hard of financial straits as you are at this point in time.
Hey, what's that supposed to mean? You're making it sound like I'm the one who's dirt poor.
I wouldn't make a claim like that without any justification. As I understand it, you have outstanding debts totaling $30,000.
How did you?
Then there's the matter of your infidelity.
My what?
Sorry, allow me to rephrase. My brother is divorcing her because of your affair.
Oh,
He only gave me a basic overview, so I'm a bit short on the specific details, but from what he said, he seems like he did his homework. You should operate on the assumption that he knows basically everything.
no way. I worked so hard to hide it from him.
It would seem that you left behind a trail of breadcrumbs which Ellen picked up on. Now then, if you'll excuse me,
Wait,
I just heard the call to start boarding my plane, so I'll take my leave here.
but how did... I never thought I'd actually get caught.
Valerie resisted the divorce at first, but she suddenly became much more cooperative right after my brother officially received her father's assets. Come to find out, Valerie was under the false impression that she would be able to receive a share of the inheritance during the divorce proceedings. Her lawyer was burdened with breaking the news to her, but no, assets a spouse receives through inheritance are not subject to property division in the event of a divorce. This came as a terrible shock to Valerie, who had been intending to use that money to finally pay off her debts, as well as soften the blow of my brother's lawsuit against her for infidelity. Faced with this reality, Valerie stormed over to my brother's house and said that she was taking back her consent to the divorce, but it was already too late. The divorce had already been finalised. Not to mention my brother wasn't even at the house because he had already sold it and moved. After being abandoned by her husband, she tried to run back to the man she was cheating with, but he turned her away. She then went to her parents, who also turned her away. She's now living in a run-down subsidised apartment, working multiple part-time jobs and gradually chipping away at her multiple sources of debt while barely managing to scrape by.
Jack, I think I'm in trouble. What kind of trouble? Should I start the car? Is Melody coming with us? I have a few $1,000s in my savings account. We can get by using that for a while. We'll figure something out after that runs out. Whoa, slow down. It's nothing that serious. It's about Melody. Is she the one in trouble? I'll do everything in my power to help her out. You know, she's like a sister to me. Wouldn't that make her my sister? I appreciate the sentiment, but you should really work on your analogies. Sure, if you say so. So what's going on? I'm not quite sure myself. She's been acting really strange lately. I can't make sense of her actions. She seemed fine to me the last time I came over for dinner. What could have changed in 2 weeks' time? Well, it all started when she bought this weird antique jewelry chest. A jewelry chest? As in a storage box? No, that's the thing. It's not just an ordinary storage box. It's a small jewelry chest that she opens with a key. Okay, and that's really not that strange. But she doesn't keep jewelry in there. Or at least, that's what I'm assuming. None of her jewelry's left its place. You keep track of her jewelry? I see it every morning. She keeps it on her vanity table. There are a few rings, a necklace, and a few pairs of earrings. It's not difficult to notice. Okay, so what if she doesn't keep her jewelry in her jewelry box? You said so yourself, it's an antique. She probably doesn't want to damage it by using it too much. I would completely understand that, but I swear that's not the case. She asked me to never even attempt to open it when she's gone, not even to take a peek inside. I would also get that. She's the one who bought it. I respect her wishes. But, and this is the most bizarre part of this whole thing, every night when she thinks I've fallen asleep, she gets up, opens the chest, takes something out of it, and starts crying silently. All right, I agree. That is kind of strange. Have you asked her about it? I have, but every time I do that, she gets very defensive and says she doesn't remember doing that. At first I thought she could have been sleepwalking, so I tried talking to her when she unlocked the chest, but she quickly locked the chest and went back to sleep. We've been living together for 3 years now, and she's never done anything like this before. What do you think she keeps hidden in there? Letters. I caught a glimpse of what she was holding, and I'm pretty sure it was a letter. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but I'm starting to get worried. Do you seriously believe she'd ever cheat on you? Is that what you're insinuating? I don't think she'd cheat on you using love letters. I mean, come on, it's the 21st century, for God's sake. You just need to trust her more. I'm not saying that she's cheating on me. I'm just worried that she may be in trouble. I don't understand why she doesn't feel like confiding in me. Well, you already tried asking her directly. How about you just open that box? I can't do that. Why not? Well, she asked me specifically not to look. I promised her I wouldn't. I have to honor my word. In that case, should I be the one to open it? I can come over when she's at work. That way you won't break your word. I don't think that's any better. Maybe I should try talking to her again. What makes you think it'll work this time? I don't see another way. All right, suit yourself. Jack, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. It's only been getting worse and worse. Is this about Melody's jewelry chest again? Yes. She started sneaking glances at it throughout the day. Now I hear suppressed laughter at night instead of crying. She spends more and more time at work. I don't know what to make of any of this. Have you tried talking to her again? I have, but she keeps telling me not to worry about it and changes the topic. Have you tried opening the chest? No, I haven't. Where does she keep the key? She leaves the key in the lock after locking it. So, all you have to do is turn it a few times? Maybe you should really just open it and take a quick peek. You can put it back the way it was and she'll never know. I can't do that. She's deliberately keeping the key in there to show me that she trusts me not to open it. What are you going to do then? Are you just going to keep quiet and ignore her eccentric behavior? I guess so. At least she's not crying anymore. Whatever she's been dealing with, it must have gotten better. I don't get it. Why do you keep texting me and then completely disregarding my advice? I'm sorry. I guess I'm only trying to vent. It's frustrating not knowing what's going on. Do you know what's really frustrating? Seeing you ignore the obvious solution. Well, I am sorry you feel that way. You should be. Hey, Alan, are you still at work? Yes, why? I'm at your place. I didn't know you were planning on visiting us. I wanted to surprise you. Though I figured you'd be back by now. I finished work in a few hours. Have you already forgotten your brother's schedule? I know we haven't been seeing each other all that often ever since you moved out of state, but that's still a little disheartening. Well, I know something that's sure to lift your spirits. But first, tell me, how's Melody been doing? Has she gone back to acting like her usual self? No, unfortunately not. Well, then you're going to love this news. I opened the chest. What? But I asked you not to do that. Why did you go behind my back? I know you're angry. I get it, but hear me out. I found something really interesting inside the chest. I don't want to know. Not even if it meant you could save your girlfriend from a dangerous situation? What have you found? I couldn't see any love letters inside, that's for sure. Just a small piece of paper with a random address and a date scribbled hastily on it. And how does that mean Melody's in danger? Isn't it obvious? She's meeting up with someone at night in some remote place in the woods. If that doesn't scream danger to you, I don't know what will. Okay, well, you didn't specify the details. Should we just call 911? I know I was the one saying this was dangerous, but we shouldn't make rash decisions. For all we know, she could be meeting up with her friends or family members. But now that I know where she's going, I can't help but feel worried. What if she really is in danger? And I've been idling this whole time. I should have acted sooner. This note still doesn't prove anything. We should refrain from making a hasty judgment. We could be panicking for no reason. Why don't you ask her about this? I'm sure she'll explain everything. And what do I tell her? That my brother broke into our apartment and opened the chest without permission? She'd be furious. Well, you don't know that. Just try talking it out first. I guess you're right. I should at least give her a chance to explain herself. Exactly. You get it. Hey, honey, do you have a moment to talk? Sure, what is it? Is everything all right? Please tell me if anything's been bothering you lately. What could have possibly been bothering me? I'm not sure. I'm just a little worried about you, that's all. Are you sure you're all right? I know we've been having some confusing conversations recently. Yes, I'm certain. What about you? Is everything all right with you? Yes, of course. I've been struggling with a project, but I asked a coworker for help, and now I feel like a huge weight's been lifted off my shoulders.
I'm glad you have such helpful coworkers.
So am I. He's really been a godsend. Oh, but the thing is, I'll probably have to work late today. You don't mind that, right?
I don't. But we were planning on going out for dinner tonight, and you could always take care of extra work tomorrow.
I need to do this tonight. I'm so sorry. I feel really awful about this. I'll make it up to you another time. I promise.
So you'll be at the office all night?
Well, not all night, but most of it, yes.
All right.
You can still come over during my lunch break if you'd like. I miss you very much.
I'd love to do that.
Great! I can't wait to see you.
Me neither. Until then, take care of yourself, okay?
Okay, I'll do that. I love you.
Love you too. I think she's really going to meet up with someone. It might just be her coworker, though.
Her coworker? Where'd you get that information?
She told me herself he's helping her out with her project. At least he's not a complete stranger.
I see, but what if that was a lie, too? What if she made that story up?
Do you think so? But why'd she do that? Do you think she might be in danger after all?
There's only one way you can find out the truth. You need to drive there yourself and check.
You can't seriously expect me to drive there all alone.
How am I supposed to fight off potential threats? I don't see why you'd have issues doing that. I mean, Melody's doing it. I'd love to go there with you, but I can't get there in time.
She clearly has an appointment. I don't. I could be jeopardizing both of our lives by showing up uninvited. Perhaps it's better if I ask her about it after she returns home.
I can't believe what I'm hearing. It's not like I'm saying you should jump into action. It could just be a harmless meetup. You can park nearby and see if there's something suspicious going on. If you find the situation dangerous, you can dial 911 and let them handle it.
I suppose I could do that.
Of course you could. Do it for Melody's sake.
All right, I'll do it. But I'm going to be on the phone with you the whole time, just in case.
Oh, no, sorry, I can't do that. You know Claire's a light sleeper. It'd be insensitive of me to talk on the phone right next to her, and I can't really leave the apartment at night.
Okay, then how about I text you throughout the night? Would that work for you?
Sure, texting's fine.
I'll get going then.
All right. Be careful.
Sure. I'm at the address. I can see her car parked outside. She must have gotten here early.
What's the place like?
I can't really make it out in the dark. I think it's just a small cottage. I don't see Melody anywhere.
She might be inside the cottage. Are the lights on inside?
No, it's pitch black. Her car's the only one parked outside. Maybe she came here alone to relax and unwind.
Well, you're only looking at the entrance. There could be another one parked at the back.
Should I circle it, or would that make my presence too obvious?
It'd be too obvious. Do you hear any noise at all coming from the cottage?
No, nothing. Then again, I am pretty far away and I am in the car, so...
Maybe you should try calling Melody again. You could hear the sound of her ringtone.
I really don't like this. I feel like a stalker. I should have just asked her up front.
She could have easily lied to you. This way, at least you'll know she lied about staying at the office.
I see your point, but even if I did call her, I doubt I'd hear her ringtone. And the cottage is pretty far away, and she usually keeps her phone on silent anyway.
On silent? Really? Okay, now that's weird.
Jack, please, this is a serious matter. I'm going to text her and see where she is.
All right, do that. Let me know what she says, okay? I want to make sure everything's all right.
Sure. Melody, are you still at the office?
No, sorry, I'm not.
Could you tell me where you are?
I think you already know the answer to that question. I can see your car.
All right, then let me ask you this. Why would you drive all the way here at night?
I wanted to visit this cottage.
Melody... Jack opened the chest. He saw the note with the address. What's the meaning of all this? What's going on? I've been racking my brain, but I can't seem to understand what makes you act this way.
Well, you were supposed to find out a lot sooner. But for some reason, it's been almost a month already.
I don't understand what you mean.
You really have the patience of a saint, Alan. You were supposed to open that chest in a day or two, max. But you kept stubbornly refusing.
You asked me not to open it.
I know, I was trying to surprise you. I did everything I could to tempt you to open it, but you never gave in. That's why we had to take drastic measures.
We?
Jack and I. He's the co-worker who's been helping me out with the project I've been struggling with. He had to take matters into his hands and unlock the chest himself.
So this whole time he's been in on this?
Yes, I'm sorry. Maybe I should have told you the truth sooner, but then it'd feel like all this was for nothing.
I still don't understand why you did this. Were you just trying to play a joke on me? Did it get out of hand?
No, of course not. I just wanted to organize a fun, surprise proposal.
A what?
A proposal! You were supposed to open the chest, find the address, drive here at the time specified on the note, and be met with our close friends and family in the beautifully decorated cottage. Then I'd enter and propose. It seemed fun and exciting in theory, but everything went off the rails pretty quickly. I should have just stopped. I am so sorry.
So what you're saying is our friends and family members are currently in that cottage?
Yes. Wait, let me turn on the lights. Do you see them inside now?
I do.
I asked them to park by the back entrance. Jack was supposed to keep you busy until we finished setting up.
I see.
I get it if you're angry. I do. You don't have to come in. You can drive away and break up with me if you'd like. I understand. Nobody's going to blame you. I'll tell everyone it was all my fault. I promise.
I can't do that.
Right, of course. This was a foolish idea. I should have stopped sooner. I'm so sorry. I'll drive back home and start packing my things.
No, Melody, that's not what I meant. I can't drive away and break up with you. I can't do that. I love you.
Despite all I've done?
I admit this past month's been a lot, but I can see that it was coming from a good place. I appreciate you putting so much time and effort into planning the proposal. Had it gone according to the plan, I'm sure I'd have loved it.
Do you really mean that?
Of course.
Well, then I admire your patience and your insistence on respecting my wishes. I was being far too selfish. I don't even know why I kept going with this. Can you ever forgive me?
I'm sure I can do that. I'm just glad that you're not in danger.
But I'm guessing you won't be accepting my proposal tonight.
I don't think I want the memory of our engagement to be tied to this day. Let's do it another time in the future. I can join you for the party, but that's about all I can do for now.
Right, of course, I get it.
I'm sorry all your hard work had to go to waste.
Oh, please, don't apologize. I just want to forget I ever thought this would be a good idea. I feel awful.
It's okay. It could have been worse, right?
Well, that's one way of looking at it.
What can I say? I am a hopeless optimist.
Are you really?
Well, yes. Deep down in my heart, I really am.
I love that. I love everything about you. I'm so happy you aren't giving up on me.
No, of course not. I'm ready to work through these things together. Although, if we're going to get married, we definitely need to work on improving our communication skills.
Of course, I promise. No more secrets and no more surprises.
Well, maybe a bit more surprises.
As you wish. I'll do everything in my power to make up for this. I'll start with this.
Are you holding a gift? I can't quite see from here.
Well, then you should come over here. We can at least enjoy the food and drinks together. I'll give you your engagement gift despite the fact that you rejected my proposal.
All right, thank you. I'll be right there. We had a great time with our friends and family. Nobody even mentioned an engagement. Melody acknowledged her mistakes, and we both worked very hard to mend our relationship. We made sure to communicate our thoughts and feelings clearly, and we strictly forbade surprises that take more than a day to take effect. I also had a chat with my brother. He apologized profusely. 3 years after that day, Melody and I got engaged for real. This time, the proposal was much more down to earth and much less exciting. Everything was perfect.